In the series Hawkeye, currently streaming on Disney Plus, we were met with a plethora of new characters, but only one could get their own show, and that is Echo. The current score on Rotten Tomatoes of 73% by the critics and 69% by the audience. Can you hear me?
Oh, I heard you just fine. I was just astounded by the
No, no, I'm talking about, I'm referring to Echo. Like he
I'm
got,
referring to Echo too because I was kind of blown away about this audience score. They're just so critical of them right now.
well, I can understand that. Why? Because I have a bone to pick with them. Not
The
with the
hand
not with the critics, but with the series. So
Okay.
let's get this going.
I saw what you did there.
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert: 5 episodes. They did a Netflix. They did a
Netflix.
Netflix. No, not Netflix. Disney Plus did a Netflix. Shut up. Disney Plus did a Netflix approach by giving us all the episodes of the first season in one shot.
And they consider it more of a spotlight
Essentially,
instead rather than a series. Like because like World by Night was a spotlight.
no, that's a special presentation.
What's the
Where
difference?
I don't know. The thing is, this could be a second season.
They
Second
could.
season, excuse me, because the way it ended, definitely.
Absolutely.
Um, it does take place pretty much right after the end of Hawkeye, with in regards to the relationship with Kingpin and Echo Maya Lopez. The first
Yeah.
episode is pretty much
A
a
retelling.
recap with more details, almost like as if they had extra footage that was deleted and they put it into this one.
Correct.
Granted, the child actor does look different in aspects. Like one time she looks like really young with puffy cheeks, another one she looks thinner and a little bit taller, as if
I
the
think that's just more
the
because like they don't stay linear with the flashbacks of the age, and so I do think they use different kids.
used different kids.
I could be wrong,
You said.
or they
I mean, they
reshot
look
the
like the same
scenes.
person.
Maybe they did retakes. Kids grow fast.
No shit. I know that. That's what I'm saying. Because it looks like, because the thing is, like when she's with her mother, she looks taller,
Hmm.
older, and then when she's with her father on the recap, she's younger, a little heavier. You know, when we see her at the dojo, she's a
Yep.
little thicker, a little. I don't mind it, but I do. Even Kim said like the flashback, she's getting confused. Now, Maya Lopez,
Hmm.
Echo, she was introduced through Daredevil, co-created by Jeff Loeb and not Jeff Loeb, David Mack, who was the artist. And I was a big Daredevil fan growing up, and I read those comics. I saw the intro of Echo and those stories, and
I
the way that
remember that's how I got most of my Daredevils were from you.
right, and Echo and Daredevil were like almost like same coin, different sides, where he is blind, she is deaf. They both have not the same powers, but they're very adaptable to their surroundings in different ways. And
Hmm.
she is like pretty much like Taskmaster,
Yeah,
where
that
she,
was her. She wasn't technically a mutant or have like
no,
superpowers. She was just extremely gifted and talented and observant. And she
right.
could duplicate the technical term duplicates observed action. So she could see someone playing the piano and she can replicate what
Hmm.
they do with the piano. And it went from
Right.
ballet to martial arts, and she was very athletic and so
Hmm.
forth like that.
Could even speak even though she was deaf.
Correct. And
She
matter of
was
fact,
able to.
I believe she was good enough to read lips in such a way that people didn't know she was deaf for the long, like she wasn't
Right.
even diagnosed until like
Right.
later in years.
So like with that, I mean, I have a problem later on where like episode 5, it was
I
like,
know.
oh, why? And granted, I did some research, and they show that everyone needs to have a superpower, and why?
They turned her
I don't
into
think
the
it does.
Avatar,
In the
but
comics,
well,
she's the
yeah,
Phoenix,
that was recent, and that happened around the time of
right?
Hawkeye,
But the
and
thing
that's
is
to
that
make her more relevant in the
it
comics.
doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. That's I'm gonna call it right now. I was so disappointed with that when they gave her powers. I was like, unfreaking necessary.
Well, here's the weird thing. Like, even in the comics, she just had the duplicate ability, then she became the Phoenix, and then she had the abilities of the Phoenix. Here, they gave her a whole new set of powers that were different and basically made her the Last Airbender avatar, which makes
Right.
no sense. And now I'm
No.
questioning, is she even human? Like, not mutant.
Well, her ancestors from like the ground or somewhere.
Exactly. I'm not gonna like
And
fact
the
check
thing,
like what they're saying she is, but
yeah,
like people that look like they are plants turning into people are not human to
is
start from.
Groot. It's pretty much Groot.
Is Groot turned human?
Right. And it was extremely unnecessary. I mean, I loved her in the comics because of how she was, in the sense like she's basically the female version of Taskmaster
Mm-hmm.
in the comics, because we have a female version of Taskmaster now in the MCU,
Because of
which
Black
is
Widow.
so stupid. Thank you, Black Widow. And she was a badass in Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
She held her own, and why give her powers? Why these powers? And the thing is, it took away like that. It reminded me of final battle in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Um.
How he took away the big baddie so easily.
Oh, it just makes it anticlimactic.
Right. You know, the Kingpin charges at her, and all she does is put her fingers together and onto him, and he's like, "What did you do to me? What did
So
you do to me?"
I, it's supposed to heal him, but I feel like it was like she messed up. And secondly, I was like, it would be one thing if she was the one that got all the power, but now like Bonnie, her grandmother, and all of them were channeling the same power. I'm like, okay,
So what does that remind you of?
I told you.
Shazam.
Oh yeah, like everybody shares the power.
You have
Uh,
the power. You have the power. You can do it now. You can. I was like,
they're Oprah
this,
Winfreying the powers.
this could have been like another Barbie or Wonder Woman, where all about women empowerment and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that's
They
cool and
would have
all, but
had that if they just left her as being a badass.
exactly, exactly. And the thing is, I know we're bashing it, and rightly so, because the thing is, it was so much potential just to let her be her. I mean, she was a badass when we met her in Hawkeye. She was a badass in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of this. She, riding a motorcycle,
Going on the train,
planting the bomb,
the first
the fight
Daredevil
scene.
fight scene.
Oh, which was the best thing I think for me was
That was my best moment.
that
Yes,
was my favorite moment too. But the fight scene at the skater rink,
not bad too. That was pretty good.
yeah, and then have all that big and great fight scenes, and then you had this little with Kingpin. Yeah, you have this where that's her uncle. Granted, she shot him in the face in Hawkeye, so
He still lived.
the
I mean, that happened in the comics, but still,
right, that happened in the comics. Even though in the comics, I think she shot him in both eyes,
maybe.
but here I don't know how you live from that close range, and his eye is still intact, even though he had a scar like Nick Fury. But
Yeah, I would have been a little bit more forgiving if they said, okay, it's because of her lineage that now she has the duplicate abilities power, and that's the case. And she's still the Taskmaster type of character.
mhm.
Here now, like we channel all our ancestors, and each ancestor does this, and but now it's not unique to me. It's also to my grandmother, to my
Mhm.
cousin, and
Mhm.
apparently only the women of their tribe.
Kim, she said too, why are these people here? Meaning the ancestors. Why are they showing this? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, it makes sense at the end, but I agree with Kim that it's not needed. Like that thing with the ancestor. I mean, I think they're trying to do it because of like how in a Native American culture, that's how it is. They're very rooted into their ancestry.
Which is
We all come
cool,
from,
but
yeah,
it's
but
still very different.
I think it's just unnecessary. I mean, that's to me thing, and I got Bob. I mean, I don't mind the sign language thing. I thought the ASL was awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but
It
like,
demanded
make up
you
your
have to
mind.
focus a whole lot more on the episodes because almost all the episodes are dead silent when it comes to dialogue conversation. Like
No, not really.
to me, it
How so?
was because like
No, the thing is, they're talking while they're sign language.
yeah,
They're
but
talking when
they're
they're
talking
what?
like now you have to do
No,
things.
that's not true. Only one time they did that. One time where her and her uncle were at the house outside, no one's around, and they're whispering.
Well, that's what I
But yet,
heard when Fisk put the thing in his ear. That's how it came out to me
what thing in his ear?
when he gave her the contact and he put a like hearing aid
Oh,
so it translates her talking and it sounds like whispers to me. And listen,
yeah, but when she's
try
talking
to
to her
sneak
uncle,
in the episodes when I can, So I have
Oh,
an
because you're busy
earpiece
at
in.
work.
I have an
Oh, so
earpiece
that's
in.
different.
So now I got to be like, I got to really watch you, and I definitely have to make sure my subtitles are on because I am gonna miss these conversations.
What the thing is like they were not consistent here
Yes.
in a sense. Like you have her talking to her uncle or talking to her cousins and or her grandfather, what have you, and they're talking and they're sign language at the same time. But since they're learning, of course, they learned it for the series, for the episode, and their
Hmm.
timing is off. So when they're talking, it's like broken down English.
Yeah.
You should not have come here or here, whatever. I'm just it's like just do the sign language, have the subtitles.
Hmm.
But the thing is, they're doing also, like I said before, Maya and her uncle outside, and they're whispering. I'm
Yeah.
like, why whispering? What? There's no one around you. I if you're in the office, I can understand whispering because people could be around.
Or like when the
And
scene when he's trying to sell the
even
pot
even Maya's
in the
even
pawn
Maya's
shop.
whispering. But wait a minute, even Maya's whispering and talking. It's like, wait a minute, when did she do this before? She didn't do this in Hawkeye. She wasn't talking
Hmm.
while she did a sign language. She was just doing it. And granted, the actress who played Maya, she is deaf and she is an amputee. So it
Hmm.
was like no CGI for her legs like that. And I think she's a martial artist, or she was taught for the role, but she did great in.
Yeah.
But I was like, stop, just make a decision. Either talk or don't talk. And I like the how in Hawkeye had broken sign language. He didn't know that much,
Because he's
but he
partial
was
deaf.
going because he was partial deaf. He's getting closer and closer to being completely deaf. So he's learning and he's trying to communicate to Maya.
Hmm.
But it's just like things like that just bother the crap out of me. I was
Also,
like,
the outfit,
and also like
her costume, missed opportunity there.
totally. And no, like she's at the powwow. She's with her outfit, but not with the hand mark.
Well,
That was her thing.
that was her thing in the comics, and the reason that was so important in the comics is the handprint is the leftover bloody handprint from her father in the comics,
Right.
and that was the left
We see that.
impression on the face, and they
We saw
homage
that
that in
in
the flashback.
right. Yes, they did. The thing is, she does it in remembrance and or in honoring of her father, when she fights or what have you. And it
Yes.
was a perfect opportunity and it's fitting for Native Americans because they do stuff like that. They have either a face print, a hand print, excuse me, on their face or something else on their face to mark. She was just clean.
Yeah, which would have been actually a really cool homage thing if she just did that. Like she's literally
Yes.
going after the man who kidnapped her family, killed her father, and it's going to be like a final confrontation. I would have thought like handprint, member of my
Right. Just
father.
like just like a person on like a hero putting on their mask like Batman kind of
Yeah,
thing. But no, she puts on the costume that her grandmother made. Also, this is deafness hereditary?
oh,
Because
because of the
apparently her
mother.
mom was deaf. I was like,
No,
that makes
they
that
didn't
just
reference any other characters. I don't believe it is hereditary.
but her mom was deaf.
I could be wrong. I mean, there could be things that, again, we don't even know if they're human.
But the thing is, it's like, I just find it takes away, in my opinion. You make a matter of convenience that the mother's deaf and then she's deaf. It did answer some things in the sense like everyone else in her family know how to sign language because they
Hmm.
had a sign language with the mother when she was growing up, and then they had the sign language with her,
You
communicate with her as
basically
well.
you
So
saying
I
is
can I
like
can
it's just too
understand that.
convenient.
I find it way too convenient.
Fair, fair, fair.
And especially also in the comics, the mother left her. Her mother wasn't killed.
Hmm.
In the comics, Maya, she was Ronin first.
True, which we knew from when or we did our review of Hawkeye that her story was changed from the get go, but
But
we
still,
we
but
still felt it was close enough that we would accept it
right, true. But the
at
thing
that
I'm just
time.
saying, like how like they tie in where first she was Echo,
Mm-hmm.
she was an anti-hero there, or she was a bad guy turned anti-hero, and
Mm-hmm.
then to, I guess, redeem herself, she became Ronin,
Yeah.
that Daredevil supported or knew about it, and but pushed her off as Ronin, like not letting her let anyone know that it's actually a female instead of a male. In the comics too, like Daredevil and Matt Murdock and Maya had a relationship. She tried to kill him. He recognized who she was, and they didn't, they had a relationship, blah blah blah. Then when she became became Ronin, she, I guess, went back to Echo, and when she went back to Echo, she gave Clint Barton the Ronin costume, and then he was Ronin in the comics for a while.
Yeah.
And he became back to Hawkeye. I appreciate that in the live action where you see the connection, but it's done a little differently here. It's kind of not full circle, but it all ties together from the comics
It's
to
more like a
here.
homage in that sense to the comic.
Right. And and it made sense in this how Hawkeye became Ronin because of the blip and everything, all that stuff. So it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're bashing it.
Eventually, we're
The
gonna get
fifth
to the good
episode.
parts.
Well, let's get to it now because to me, when Daredevil showed up, it was amazing. And of course, this takes
Yeah,
place prior to his time on She-Hulk because the costumes different. The costumes more
it's
uh,
season 3.
to the
It's a season 3 costume.
well, regardless of season 3 or season 1 or 2, it is in the sense of is before She-Hulk, before the golden
Yeah,
red. That is
mustard red.
actually his mustard red, mustard yellow, red, blah blah. But that's his actual first costume.
True.
But I love the fight scenes they had together. The whole thing, when I first, before he came out, when they did all that stuff where her and the two guys infiltrate the facility, it reminded me of Daredevil in the hallway scene. It was pretty much
True.
almost a one shot, even though the one in Daredevil was a complete one shot. Here you can tell when they cut away into another scene, what have you. But
I
it felt
did
like a
think it was kind of weird and cool, but weird. The guy just like jumps through the door to break it down,
yeah,
and I was like,
like
okay, I guess that works. I mean,
the fight scenes seemed
that
a little
whole moment
choppy.
from when they first walked in and they what was it? They gave a code word or something like that, and the guy takes out the other security guard
Mhm.
first. I was like, oh
Then they took out that security guard out, didn't they?
no, I think he joined them, and
Right. No, he joined them, but then I think they shot him
yeah, he
right there.
probably
Like,
did. Yeah,
can't remember because it happened so fast. But the fight with her and Daredevil, beautifully done. I wasn't sure that was it was really Charlie Cox, but of course it was him.
mm-hmm.
But my favorite moment from the whole fight is when Daredevil jumped through the shelves.
Oh
He did
yeah,
he went through the shelves head first and he put his hand down like to help propel him forward and he goes into a roll, stands up. I was like, that is totally comic book accurate in the sense of how Daredevil would move.
almost Spider-Man like, but like just really parkour, athletic, smooth.
Right.
He'll find a way to get across.
Well, Spider-Man will do something a little different in the sense like he'll go with like hands, then feet first to land on feet,
True.
where Daredevil just totally committed to the move and then went to a roll. And I was like, oh, that's just beautiful. Just that one little moment. Everything else was great, especially with the sticks and
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing with it. Stick. I was like, they got that right. That fight scene, they got Daredevil right
Mm-hmm.
on how he moves. And I was like, thank you for the fight choreographies, gods.
Best fight of the spotlight of all 5 episodes.
And close to me was the skater rink.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they should have had a better finale with her and Kingpin.
You know what? And that was the thing. I enjoyed the dynamic between Maya and Kingpin. I liked it
Of
all the way
course,
up until that last confrontation. Wilson Fisk's character and the portrayal of his character, even from the Netflix series, fantastic in my opinion.
amazing.
I dare say he did
Countless
better here
other.
than Hawkeye.
I don't know. Every time he does it, he's great.
He is
Every time he does
great, but I mean,
Kingpin, he's
like
great.
I remember you were having an issue with him in the Hawaiian shirt. Uh,
Well, no, no, I didn't have it. No, I didn't have an issue with that. No, because that's a tie into a comic book cover.
true, 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 true.
He wanted to wear that exact outfit, but I just felt like her seeing him when he comes to the property
Mm-hmm.
with the eye patch, she wasn't really scared. Like you would think, like, wait a minute, I thought I killed you,
True.
and you're right here. And then seeing him again at the powwow.
But at the same time, they kind of hinted at it because they're like only one person would have called off the those goons, and
True, but
so
but when you see him you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you don't see your nemesis,
and you do.
and then
Mm-hmm.
and when you do see it right there, like in your backyard,
Mm-hmm.
your body language would be totally different.
True. And I thought it
This,
was
I mean,
funny.
this
He's like, I thought we should have some like a Sunday meal, and she's like, it's Thursday.
there's some light moments there. Yes, yes.
Hmm.
The dog, the dog. Now, what I liked about the dog was because of the name of the dog, Billy Jack.
Billy Jack, yeah.
Do you know about the movie, right?
Oh wait, no.
It was the movie where Hapkido became well known because it was first time caught on camera in the sense of a movie.
Oh, okay. The one thing I was going to talk about is like I wasn't really paying attention to all the side characters for the most part. Henry I did pay attention to. Chula and Scully, the grandmother and Scully, I loved their dynamic. Biscuit, absolute comic relief.
He was the comic relief, yes.
Absolutely. Bonnie, the cousin, didn't really felt like she brought anything to the table to me, just to be honest, other than
It
like
felt
she's
weak.
the one cousin that she doesn't talk to anymore. Fun fact though, she is the voice actress for What If Kaori.
Okay.
I mean, you liked the Kaori episode, so
Yeah, I know, but you're right in the sense of like there were like, in here in the first episode, you see that Maya calls her sister. No, we're cousins. No, we're sisters, meaning that is a deeper connection. And then she disappears. And then she's like, we drifted apart. I was like, that's weak. I'm sorry. If you're going to have an important figure in the beginning of the series, reunion should be a lot deeper. When
other than with
Bonnie's
the whole
showing
grandmother thing, which I felt there should have
the
been more.
grandmother,
I
go
felt like
ahead.
there should have been more conflict between her and her grandmother. Yeah, she walked
Yes,
away and whatnot, but it kind of blew over super fast. And
yes.
when like she should have called her out, like, listen, like, yeah, you chose yourself over family. I would have been like, you severed ties with it. It would have been a whole thing.
Well, yeah,
Matter
the
of
thing
fact,
is
I
like
even
she
thought the sorry, I'm on a tie right now. I even
no,
thought
go,
Wilson
go.
Fisk was getting called out the grandmother. Like when
Hmm.
he started talking to her about her grandmother, she's like, "Oh, my granddaughter's in town." Like you keep it. I thought he was gonna say something sly like, "Oh, I'm confused. I thought you abandoned your granddaughter or something like that."
Right.
And that which would have been a great cutoff scene. I would like cut off at that moment. I would be like, "Yes."
Exactly. There was plenty of opportunities missed here.
Yeah, even Wilson Fisk could
Let
have made that as an argument in that final discussion with her. He's like, "These are your people. They abandoned you." And
right.
yes,
I took you in. I brought all the stuff. I raised you
although he
when
did say, "I
you're
killed your father."
well, yeah, well, that too, yeah.
He did the
But
ego. There's a lot of good points, but there's missed opportunities at the same time.
yes, yes,
Um,
I agree. I agree. And like I said, like I was all in it into the fifth episode. That fifth episode with the magic powers, whatever, it's like not needed. Like let something happen in the sense of like a secret war or something else where a entity comes in and then she's the one that steps in by mistakes and captures it. And then she has the secret powers because we didn't see any of that in Hawkeye. We didn't see any of that prior to it, but then she knows how to get it because her mom showed her how to bring a bird back up to
they
life.
showed
I
it
was
on the
like,
train when her hands started glowing and she pushed the train apart.
yeah, but I mean, still, it was not needed. It's
I
like,
know.
is she a mutant?
I don't know. Another scene I did enjoy, trying to stay on the positive on this,
Yeah.
Wilson Fisk and the hot dog vendor. Flashback scene. When
Oh,
Maya's
okay.
trying to get like a hot dog after school and you see
Hmm.
Fisk just watching it. And then he's like, I'll be right back. And he just proceeds to beat the living daylight out of the hot dog vendor because the way he
Yes.
treated her. Say what you will about his character, is a cold, heartless, cruel man.
Hmm.
But don't cross family. If he considers you family, he's gonna break everything about you.
You're correct. He committed to that. And it also reminded me of Rebel Moon. Okay, Rebel Moon, right? So the girl gets befriended or taken in by the killer, and the
Yeah,
killer
okay. I got what you're talking
raises
about.
her.
He becomes a new king and whatnot. Yeah.
But no, the thing is, no, but I'm saying though, like the victim, or in Thanos too, same thing with Gamora,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm following where you're
where,
going.
where the villain takes in, I guess, a victim,
Innocent.
yes, and then raises her.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's kind of in a way demented too, in an aspect. I think do
Oh, he
that to
gives
where
her his hammer. I thought he was going to give her the cufflinks. He's
mm,
like, it's like I always carry this around to remind me of, like, how the day I've gained freedom. I thought that was like the cufflinks from like the first season that he would always
mm,
carry, and gives her
mm,
the hammer.
because it's hammer time.
He's like, free
Uh,
me. And
Uh,
I'm saying to myself, this is a lot darker than I anticipated.
well, this is darker. Come on, you see the boy who, the guy from the roller rink, he gets shot,
Bleeds out.
keeps eyes open, blood going into it, and that's what it's supposed to be with these spotlights.
Mm-hmm.
These spotlights are supposed to be a darker version of the MCU.
The Netflix series are officially canon, and they have been placed appropriately in the timelines now.
Well, they have to. They have you have Kingpin and Daredevil in the MCU now,
Yeah.
so it has to be canon. Everything is canon. The X-Men series, although
Mm-hmm.
even though they call it Legacy in Disney Plus,
Mm-hmm.
but everything since the multiverse has happened, now everything is canon because it happened in different universes, but they're all connected.
True.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, we have that 73% by the critics and 69% by the audience. Where do you put your score at?
77, I feel.
I'm gonna give it a solid 80 because
Okay.
again, I was with it until the last episode in the sense of the powers. I mean, I would give it up even more so, not to the last episode, like the last 15 minutes of the last episode,
Where
all to
everything
you
popped
know,
off at the end.
everything to except where, yeah, the barn scene,
Yeah.
like everything up to that, boom, the barn scene. I was like,
Everything up until then
then
was
she's
probably
standing there with,
forgivable.
yeah, like I'm standing there with her ancestors behind her, and I was like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do like also that one goon who got shot and shot off the rocket in the sky.
Oh, the
Uh,
one for the trench coat mafia.
yes,
Yes.
he was
Okay.
all he was great. I like that he was very charismatic, even though he was a dick, but he was very charismatic. From all the things we've said, from all the negativities that we gave it, is it still worth the watch in your opinion?
Yes, I would say so.
I have to agree. Like I said, I did enjoy it until the fifth episode with the special powers and the lame confrontation with her and Kingpin. It should have been deeper. It should have been like in the sense of like they're fighting each other. He's crying, she's crying because it's like father and daughter fighting or uncle and niece fighting. The people who love each other still, even though she recognizes the evil that he is, and he recognizes that she's trying to stop him to accomplish his goals. That confrontation would have been a beautiful scene with them going fist to blows or fist to
Yeah.
cuffs.
He's a fantastic actor, and she has a lot of potential, and she brings a lot to the table. And
Mhm.
yes, it's like for all their great moments that they had, that final moment just takes away so much.
I went, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much what she says, I forgive you. She's killing him
It's
with kindness,
exactly. And she did
but
she heal his eye? I think she healed his eye.
his eye was already healed.
No, he had a scar, but I mean, did she
But
remove
no,
the
but
scar?
oh, that I can't remember.
I couldn't remember that.
I can't remember. I just know that he could see, but he just had the scar like
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fury. Give us the fight that we want to see in a sense of this unstoppable beast with this beautiful flower. That's Echo, because there's so much potential there. So much potential. They just passed it by.
Like we said, overall, it's not a bad show. We're more upset because we're fans of the original incarnation of the character. We're fans of how she was portrayed in Hawkeye,
Yes.
and kind of didn't like how it went. As an overall show, not bad.
Again,
I would think mom would love the show as a whole.
Mom will love it because of the Native American aspect.
Yeah, in the sign
That's
language.
why she'll like it. Bush will like it because there's a woman hero kicking ass.
Mm-hmm. Strong empowerment. Mm-hmm.
Dad may like it too. I'm not sure, but he may like it too.
I would have to check
So
to
I'm not
see if they
sure.
have more dubbing because I don't know if Dad would be down for as much. I know they talk, but like he would
They
feel like he'll
talk
need to
almost
read.
every. There's like two scenes that there's whispering. Other stuff they're always talking, and it's like broken English when they're talking
It was hard for me.
because they're
I'm just
like
saying.
they can't. Well, they're saying we're going back to this again. I know it is, but they're talking in broken English because they can't sign language as fast as they can talk. She could, but
Mhm.
that's her language. But everyone else was taught for the series, or they got someone to translate for them, like that lady that was by Kingpin.
True. Oh, that was a good moment too. He was like, "You're
What?
excused," and they walk her out to the hallway, and you hear her. She's like, I don't know anything. I promise." And, da, da, da. And I'm like, "Oh, she did."
He's a cruel sob.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic
All right.
character, though.
Fantastic character. Fantastic actor.
Absolutely. Hmm.
I don't see. I don't know anyone else who could have brought. Well, I may be wrong by saying this, but Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti as the Kingpin?
Yes, he's short, but man, can he play a mean mother effer. He
You
has
know
the
what? I can give
chops.
you that.
He has
Because
the chops to be it.
he's played some villains.
Remember,
Very
he
cold villain. He's a
he has
fantastic
the
actor.
chops. Now, granted, yeah, again, yes, totally. Yeah, he may not have the height and the size like Vincent does,
Hmm.
but he could have killed it. Could have killed it as the Kingpin, even though it would have been a different approach because you have to be looking down at him instead of looking up.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, guys, that is our marvelous review of Echo, currently streaming on Disney Plus. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the descriptions below. Also, if you have a show or movie you'd like us to review, let us know in the description below as well. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.